Hello and welcome to the Snickerdoodle Knits YouTube channel. I am Jessica, the knitter and designer behind Snickerdoodle Knits. In this YouTube video, I am going to be talking all about the Windy Shores hat design. So this design is one of two patterns within the Next Door Neighbors collection. And so just a little bit of history on that collection. Background on that is the collection is the third and last collection from my home series, which the first collection was the My Forever Home. It was all about Montana, which is my home state, and that used DK weight yarns. The second collection was a new home, which was based on where I live now, which is North Carolina, and that collection used fingering weight yarns. And then this collection is Next Door Neighbors, inspired by what was like our next door neighbors in Montana, and those are our friends in Canada. And so this collection includes super bulky patterns. So you might notice that there's a little bit of correlation there between the yarn weight and the climate and the location of those places. For each collection, I also used yarn from dyers that were local to each of those areas as much as possible. So the Next Door Neighbors collection, both patterns are used yarn from Canadian yarn dyers. So the Windy Shores hat was inspired by the coastal lines, the shores of Canada. Of course, it's surrounded by water except for where we're attached to it down here in the States. So of course it has the Pacific, the Atlantic, and the Arctic up north. So they have quite a lot of coastal line, of course. And Windy Shores, just thinking of how in Canada it's not quite the balmy, beachy, sandy shores that you visualize maybe in the Caribbean or in Florida or something like that. A little bit cooler, and so, you know, hanging out on the shores in Canada, you might want a little bit of warmth, especially in the winter. So that's what the inspiration behind the design was. The design has this texture here that is intended to look like waves, so it's just a undulating texture. It's really simple to work. So I guess we'll go right into techniques then. The majority of the hat is just knits and purls, and then when you get up to the top, you do have decreases. As you can see, this is not a messy bun version. So the pattern includes two versions. There's a plain hat version and a messy bun version, or ponytail hat, whatever you want to call it. So the pattern includes information on how to do it if you'd like it for the messy bun version. It also includes information on how to lengthen the hat. So if you want it a bit slouchier, I've given instructions there on how to make the hat a bit longer. So when you're selecting your size, you'll select your size based on your head circumference, not on the height of your head. The information on sizing is included on all of the pattern pages. So if you're on Ravelry, or if you're on my website, or if you're in the pattern itself, all of those locations have the sizing information, so you can be sure you are selecting the correct size for your head. The pattern includes 5 sizes. It has child size, teen size, and then 3 adult sizes, small, medium, and large. So there's a variety of sizes and options available there. Let's see. Let's talk about yarn. So this yarn that I used, I mentioned that it was dyed by a Canadian dyer. It is from Flock Fiber Studio, and this is their super bulky weight yarn. And this one, which is the main sample, is Blueberry Girl. That's the name of the colorway. I will have to check. I don't remember the name. I don't have the name of this off the top of my head, but I can add that down here below. So this is just another one of their colorways. So all of my patterns, I include a link in the pattern to a blog where I have yarn recommendations and color suggestions. So that blog is also linked on any of the pattern pages, like on my website, on Ravelry, any of that kind of stuff. It's just a link to the blog, and so that first half of the blog has color suggestions specifically from Flock Fiber Studio. So it's just other colors that I think would look great with this hat that I recommend, that would be available in their super bulky base. And then the second half of the blog is alternative yarn recommendations. So that is like more affordable yarns from larger box stores and stuff like that that have yarns at cheaper prices. So there I've just included some recommendations for yarns that you could use as a substitute for the Flock Fiber super bulky base. And I have not broken that into color suggestions for those yarns, but I recommend if you see a colorway that you like, or a color scheme that you like from my suggestions from Flock Fiber, just look for maybe something a little similar in those other yarns. So that was, talked about techniques, we talked about design inspiration, we talked about the yarn. So I think that's about everything. If you're looking to purchase the pattern, I've included a link down below in the description box. That is a link to the pattern page on my website. So that has all of the information about yarn requirements, how much yarn you need, sizing information, so you'd know what size you need to knit. Has information on what the knit's like, what the techniques used are, all of that sort of information is all on the website, plus all of the links to where you can purchase the pattern. So right now it's available on Payhip, LoveCrafts, and Ravelry, so all of those links are there on the website. I hope that you found this video helpful and informative. I hope it answered any questions that you had about the hat design. If you still have questions, go ahead and leave those in the comments. I'm more than happy to answer those. And if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, hit that like button, and subscribe to the Snickerdoodle Knits YouTube channel. I provide a video like this for every knitting pattern that I've designed and published. And I also include video tutorials in my patterns to help walk you through step by step with confidence through the pattern. So those video tutorials are also here on the channel. So if you subscribe, of course, you will receive more content like this, including those tutorials. So I hope to see you around. Happy knitting!